If your counterattacks are very weak or inconsistent, we're going to talk about the difference between how the pros hit their counters and how amateurs hit them. By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly what you need to fix and work on to have very confident and powerful counter volleys. All right, if you want to improve your counters, the very first common mistake that I see is when players are making contact on balls above the net, their paddle angle is very downwards or it's facing down. So they either are in this continental grip and they're turning their wrist in, or they're kind of in a backhand Eastern grip and their paddle angle is down during contact. So what happens is this puts this ball into the net. So I'm going to show you an example of this right now. So Sammy is going to hit me a speed up. Okay, so when I contact the ball out in front in a good zone, but my paddle angle is face down, it can't clear the net. So it's really important that you're in that continental grip, and when I'm actually striking the ball and contacting it, that we have this paddle face slightly open. This is really important so that we can actually clear the net and hit a good solid counter. The second common thing that I see all the time is when players are prepping for a drive or a speed up, they're pretty early. And not only that, they're contacting the ball super far in front of them. So when I'm contacting the ball like this and my elbow is fully extended, not only am I kind of off balance and leaning, but my paddle face tends to open upwards. And from this contact position, I don't have a lot of power because I have no more room to push through. So it kind of looks like this. So the key here is to wait for the ball to come a little bit closer into your impact zone and contact the ball, give or take, a paddle or a paddle and a half length in front of you. From here, I have a very solid contact, and after contact, I could push through towards my target. All right, third common mistake that I see all the time. If you really want a strong counter, you cannot swing downwards. The more downward you swing, the more your ball is going to go into the net. Yes, we would like to hit it at our opponent's speed at times, but I see a lot of times players are prepping for a drive or prepping for a speed up, and they get their paddle high and then they're finishing low, and that swing sends it right into the net. So it kind of looks something like this. As you saw in those examples, I'm hitting a pretty solid counter with pace, but that ball is going right into the net. So the fix here is I really want to make sure that I'm pushing out towards my target using my shoulder, right? It's really important that I have a linear swing path and not a downward one. This particularly is important for balls that are kind of at my waist level, right? When I have attacks right here and I swing down, that's for sure going into the net. Now, balls up here, you might be able to swing down a little bit, but we want to get in a habit that we're actually always pushing out and pushing towards our target. Before we hop into the fourth common mistake, if you want a free video on how to beat bangers and beat players that attack you, go ahead and go to crushbangers.com. That video will really help you out. Go to the description below or scan the QR code here. All right, so now let's hop into the fourth common mistake when players are dealing with pace, and that is their ready position is way too far out in front. So when I have a ready position like this is good because the paddle's in front of me, but when the ball's coming really fast, I don't have any room to push through or get power on my counter. So I'm going to have to just use my wrist here, or I'm going to have to pull it back, and then I'm going to have to push it out again. So this takes a lot of time and a lot of effort, and it kind of looks something like this. There we go. Okay, so that was me kind of using all my wrists, and now I'm going to pull it back here. Okay, so you can see that, having that ready position way out in front of me doesn't really help me time the ball, and it doesn't allow me to give myself the time that I need and the power that I need. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually just be in more of a relaxed ready position closer to my body. Okay, so Sammy again is going to feed. Here we go. Okay, this way I'm already in this position, and as I see the ball being attacked towards me, I can actually push out towards the ball. So I'm going to show you that one more time. Here we go. Okay, so this is a really big misconception with players. I know we want to be ready and hold the paddle out in front of us, but if it's too far out in front, we're not going to have the power and the timing. So hold your paddle in a relaxed position, relax your arm, relax your elbow, and from here we can push out to the ball. All right, common mistake number 5. If you want to have really strong counters, you cannot hinge your volley shot or your counter from your elbow. First of all, this puts a lot of strain in your elbow, but also we don't get a ton of power from here. And usually it ends up to the net because I'm actually hinging from here. So I'm going to show you what that looks like really quick. Here we go. Okay, so there's a lot of you that actually may be doing this and not even knowing. Where we want to develop our power and our strength from is our shoulder. This is a lot bigger muscle and stronger than our elbow. So instead of, kind of hinging from the elbow, I want to actually push it with my shoulder. So it's really important that we're doing that and not just hinging from the elbow, okay? So it's going to look like this. Here we go. I see him get ready to speed up, and I'm pushing from the shoulder. Okay, there is maybe a little bit of bent elbow involved, but the main power source is coming from here. All right, common mistake number 6. This is probably the one that I see the most on the court. When somebody is receiving a ball with a lot of pace, they tend to back up or lift up their body. So in this case, when I'm backing up, falling back, my weight's going back, or I'm lifting up on my toes like this, I have my weight going back, so the ball tends to go up. And not only that, the pace and the power I can put on my counter is very minimal. Okay, so it looks something like this. Okay, here we go. If I'm falling back at all, I don't have my weight moving forward, and I'm not going to be able to get a really strong counter. So one easy fix is right before you see them hit the ball, you want to just keep your weight on the balls of your feet. This is a little thing you can try. So if the weight's on the balls of my feet and my chest is actually over my knees, then that ensures that I'm actually leaning in on my counter. And I don't need a really big swing. All I need is my weight moving forward so that I can have a really strong counter.
All right, make sure you're doing these 6 things that Jordan said so we can make sure we're beating those bangers. The counter is a very important shot if you're wanting to beat those bangers. Feel free to check out the QR code for our free video if you are still struggling.